around once we got it in there, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, I'll be going to Robin now. Robin, you should be unmuted, but maybe you might have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I unmuted myself. Well, thank you so much for that talk. And I have a whole room full of students who are listening in, and I'm just like so excited that so many of the things you're talking about are resonating with them. But I just wanted to ask you to talk more about what you said about what artists do. And you said that artists loosen borders. And I loved that. And I just wanted to hear you talk about that a little bit more. And I also really loved it when you said about the tree that you wanted to be a witch. And those are just things that are, you know, just sound bites that are just going to hover. If there's anything more you want to say about those things, I would be interested.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how articulate I can be about it. Being an artist, you sort of feel your way through these things. But the whole notion of how you make meaning shift as an artist, you do feel like a witch or an alchemist. You're like trying to tease out certain things that may not be visible normally, that you may overlook. And yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Robin. It's just like one of those artist things.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm gonna try not to chime in all the time, but I just feel like your work, sorry. I just feel like your work Jude, it really does, like when you were talking about, you know, shifting and transgressing borders, it does really, like not only in terms of, you know, these sort of fantastical hybrid creatures that you're creating, but you're just like really like pushing form and material in ways, and there is definitely this alchemical quality to it that, you know, like some of it is like, you know, a witch's brew come to life kind of, you know, quality. So I think it's definitely spot on.
Thank you for the question. Okay, I'm gonna unmute Ward.
Hi. So this is a provocative question in a way. How do you feel about having all these people come visit you in your studio on video? I mean, you have a show, and obviously, I mean, it was really, on some level, unfortunate to have your show cut at a point when it was just opening up and people are getting a chance to see it. But when they decided to have this video chat with you, were you glad for that, or do you feel like you're put on the spot? I mean, it's a kind of a potential, you know, I felt that in New York that we would have openings and we would see each other a lot, but we almost never really had to talk about our work to our friends or to anybody. Almost, you didn't have to talk about it. And now, because we're having to be mediated by the lack of being able to go out and see it, and you have this new way of doing it, you welcome the chance to talk about it, or does it make you feel insecure? And do you think it's a good idea?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, yeah, I don't know, I'm always insecure talking about the work because I think that's just the way it is. But it's kind of great that all these people are here. I mean, it's just so great to see everybody. I miss people. And I haven't been on a video chat with this many people, and it's so fun and it's so cool to see everybody. You know, wish I could hug everybody. I can't wait till we can get together again. But it's good. I mean, what else are we going to do? This is what we have right now, you know? We're just going to use it. That didn't answer your question. That's all I got.
Well, okay. You already did the talking, so that was fine. That's fine.
Okay, we're going to Louisa, who has a question.
Hey, hi Jude. Hi everyone. So I really love how all there's so many different types of objects in the show, you know, from a car to motorcycles to a tree stump to the fire escape to loosely figurative. And this is a hypothetical question. I know like when I'm getting ready for a show, I always work up to the last minute and there's always like maybe one or two more ideas that, you know, if I'd had time, I would have put in. What, hypothetically, if you had one more piece to put in, what would you make for this show? I'm curious what object. And you don't have, if you have nothing, that's okay.
I got nothing. I swear I got nothing.
You were completely wiped out from it.
I was just like wrung out after making that fire escape. And yeah, it's a good question. And I'm kind of worried. I mean, I think about this and how we come back from this, and I know we're artists and we're going to keep making art, but then how will this how will the world be when we come out of this, and what will it be like?
That's a good point.
And will it like change us in the way we make things? I mean, it has to, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe things. I mean, like I can't wait to go see art again. I a few days ago I was like, oh, what are we going to do? It's going to be so hard once we come out of this. And one of the first things I definitely want to do is go see art. So I don't really have an idea for the next piece.
Thanks. For nothing. No, you gave us a lot. The show is incredible. It really is a knockout show. Congratulations.
Thanks, Louisa.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. Okay, we're going to Sherry now. You should be unmuted, Sherry.
Yes, it's really Rick's question, but since we have the mic, I love the show, Jude. I wish I saw it in person. I kept thinking,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, we were gonna go and then we couldn't. So we're so glad we have the opportunity to see it here and now. And I too love the fire escape piece. But Rick had a question.
Yeah, Jude, I love the show too. I really think that some of those pieces are incredibly magical, like the fire escape and the what the other one?
The heat lamp? Heat map one?
Well,
the car.
No.
The figures.
This is my moment. This is my big moment, and I'm loving it. Jude, one technical question: is the fire escape enforced, or is it just? I heard you said you use bolts to attach it, but is there something inside the
Aluminum foil?
The industrial aluminum foil?
Right, in part of it, there is an armature made out of conduit that I bent. So okay. Yes, the answer is yeah, conduit armature. Okay,
and then one of the things that I love most about the show is how it reflects Williamsburg. I mean, a lot of us here on Hollywood Squares lived in Williamsburg at one point in our lives.
True that.
Seeing that the car put up on blocks, my car was put up on blocks. The car is collapsing. The tree stumps with the broken pavement. The fire escape. I live in a building where we had to fix the fire escape because it was broken.
Oh my God.
But I love the fragility of it. Well, anyway. Could you, one last question. I mean, I noticed that all the work is life-size, and you mentioned about the importance of working life-size in relation to the body and being in that space. Do you ever work larger than life-size? And you talk more about the body relationship to experiencing art. It's not just a visual.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the part about doing it and, you know, not being able to see the work, because I feel like when you have that encounter, when you have that physical encounter with an object, there's a generosity there when your body encounters it that's not able to happen digitally or pixely or anything like that. I've never really worked in larger than life scale because I really feel these muscle memories and these interactions and these encounters are really interesting. And I love what you said about Williamsburg, Rick, because it's like that deterioration and then that bringing back to life. It's so potent, that sort of border right there where things are being kind of destroyed. And, you know, I go I think a lot about like Robert Smithson and the way he talked about entropy, and it's not like that it's dissolving into sameness. It's like, I think an artist's job is to not let it go to sameness, but to bring it back into all these other realms. So I love that Williamsburg comment.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. Okay, Karen is next. Then it will be David.
Karen!
I miss you beyond. I can't even, like, I could get teary-eyed about it. And I can't believe I didn't get to see your show. I wanted to ask you about maybe the idea about the spectral and the ghost-like quality, maybe how they're functioning differently in the different works. But I was also wondering about that idea of the ghost, when now we're seeing them as through the, like I'm only seeing them through the internet. So they already, that mediation is, I don't have the, they are at once completely filled with the concrete and its relationship to the corporeal, the body, but I'm getting it in this ghost-like. So I don't know if it's a question, but I'm just thinking about that.
Yeah, it's so strange. I'm thinking about that too. I mean, how does that change it? And how does it bring another ghost? And what happens with that whole, I mean, when you can't encounter it and you have to see it like this. But thanks for being here. I love your work. I'm so happy to see you. For everybody here, Karen and I were colleagues for many years at Tyler School of Art in Philly. Woo.
My work wife.
Yeah, we call it, yeah, she's my work wife. Of her work.
Okay, I am unmuting you, David. Uh-oh.
Hello. Why is that doing that?
He sounds like he's in a spaceship.
Hang on. Is that better?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm on two different devices at once. Hi, Jude. And everybody. That was such a great show. And it's a shame. I remember the night of the opening was the very first night. People were sort of like awkwardly, not shaking hands and not, sort of bumping elbows and things. And nobody was sort of like knew what to do. Anyway, this is sort of a weird question, but do you think of yourself as a figurative artist? And part two, do you ever make abstract art, or what you consider? I know these are like the broad, ridiculous categories, but
No.
I'm just curious. Because I think about figure and landscape a lot. And am I doing figures or landscapes or both? And, I don't know. I just think it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, maybe those are arbitrary kind of like categories that have been given by, I don't know, people out there in the art world, and they kind of don't, I think they overlap all the time. Do we really have to go by those boundaries? I mean, go by those, the abstract and the figurative. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But I really don't really work without a reference. Like you work without a you're like, I mean, there's something very poetic about being able to not work with a reference. But for me, I always have to have it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I think there are a couple of pieces in the show that like straddle that boundary between abstraction and representation, like the heat map piece, and then also those keyboard pieces that we didn't talk about during the talk, but you painted them black and they're really curly, and they just they look like they could be just sort of abstract sculptures that are sitting there on the floor in a way.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay, a question now from Matt Friedman.
He's like sitting right here. He's my husband.
Why can't I ask a question? Maybe you have to mute.
We can't hear you on my end.
See, this is a real pro. Okay, am I unmuted now? Okay.
No, you come over here, Matt. Mute yourself and come over here.
All right.
Mute yourself and come over here.
Well, the question is about abstraction in the body. And when David was talking, I was thinking about the early pieces you made in Montana when you were in landscape yourself and moving through space as a body and creating those lines in the fields. And I always thought those were beautiful drawings and abstractions, but they left a trace of your body. And I was wondering if there was a connection to think about between those very, very early pieces that had so much to do with material and not the figure and what you're doing now.
I think there is a connection. I mean, I think what Matt brought up was a good point. We're always influenced by where we are. It's like this body of work is so influenced by being here, living in New York. He's referring to some really early work that I made when I lived in Montana out in the landscape, and it was different. It was more abstract, David, but it did have a trace of the figure. But yeah, I think that as artists, we're always influenced by that. I mean, we're influenced by what we see, what we walk by, what's around us. So.
I see that Kate Teal wrote in the comments, and the wonderful discarded clothing pieces at Valentine.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we have a comment from someone called Artman. Let's see. You're unmuted.
Carol Deal. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Carol.
Hi. This is so much fun. I never get to see you.
No.
But I think my comment is very short, and that is I think that it's not either or, figure or abstraction. I think you take a figure and make it abstract. And that's a very special thing to do, to take a figure and make it into something that you can't put a name on, that you can't recognize, that you can't see in your ordinary life. So I don't think we have to draw a line anywhere.
Yeah. I agree. I like that comment. You guys, it's so good to see all of you. I cannot tell you. It's so good to see everybody. I'm gonna cry.
Oh. Oh.
We have a comment from Alana. One second. Alana, you're unmuted.
Hi, I was just going to say that the quality of being like a snake shedding its skin, you know, is so much what I get from a lot of these pieces, or like this sort of shell-like quality and this transformative quality that, you know, it makes me even think of like a butterfly, you know, a caterpillar into a butterfly type of transformation seems somehow to go with a lot of, you know, the process, the imprint, the sort of echo of the original form, you know, so it's somehow that resonates with me throughout all of what you're saying.
Oh, thanks. I think that's really beautiful. I do. Like how you, it's kind of, it sounds really corny, but like sort of uncovering the truth of an object, like peeling back the layers to get to its essence somehow, or remaking this essence.
And they reference mass, you know, because you're representing such massive forms, but they're doing it with a kind of a skin, you know.
Oh, thanks. That's good. I like that.
Thank you for that. Okay, we have a question from Rebecca and then a comment by Nora. Rebecca, you might need to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi, Jude.
Hey,
I love the show.
oh,
It's
thanks. There you go.
fantastic. It's so beautiful. I just wondered, I mean, you're such a sensitive person, and the way you reflect on the world around you. I was just wondering how you're doing right now with this lockdown, and like, how are you able to concentrate on your work, or are you kind of all over, or?
Yeah, no, I'm not able to concentrate on the work. I'm not able to concentrate on anything. Yesterday, I cleaned off my desk and I thought, okay, now finally I'm doing something. No, I mean, I don't know. It's like, you know, trying to be optimistic through all the anxiety. You know, so many people have lost jobs and income. It's just like, I don't know, it's so hard to think about. And yeah, wonder.
Yeah, I can't concentrate on the work at all. It's such a strange time. And then when it's over, we'll have a lot to say, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, the show's great. Thanks.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you. Okay, Nora, a comment.
Hi, Jude. Hi, Matt. Hi, everyone. I want to say firstly that this is a beautiful, beautiful show, and I'm sad that we can't continue to visit it in person right now. And I feel extremely very lucky to intimately know some of these creatures and pieces from working with you in the studio. I was reflecting on an earlier question about the scale of your work and how, you know, whether you're working life size or beyond life. And I feel like, just as an observation, you know, you have this this core in mold making, and I feel like it's such a beautiful thing because the process is also conceptual fuel, and when you continue to mold make and use the mold making process, everything is one-to-one, everything is life size. So I think you have a very strong repertoire there that is both conceptually sound and keeps a continuous scale. And thank you for the beautiful show.
Thanks, Nora. Thank you.
Do we want to have maybe a last call for a question? We could, does anyone have a burning question they want to ask? Last call. Going. Oh. Robin?
I just raised my hand. I'm just going to piggyback off of that wonderful comment. That you're casting a 1-to-1 ratio kind of resonates for me as a record of reality. It's if you're taking a casting of it, it exists. And in this moment of, you know, so many things ceasing to exist, things that might disappear altogether. I don't know if they're things or feelings or attitudes or whatever, but is there any kind of translation of, in that realm of wanting to preserve or record something in this moment?
That's an interesting question. I haven't gotten there yet. Maybe I will. Things just keep changing and happening. It's just like this slow avalanche. I haven't been able to be grounded enough, you know, to go there. But hopefully as artists, we'll figure this one out, right? Figure out how to manage it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a really great comment. I love that idea about like wrapping something as a means of preserving it in a way. So I think that's a really lovely place to sort of close the talk. I want to thank you all again for coming and listening to us. It's been so nice to see everyone. Thank you, Jude, for participating in this program and discussing your work with us.
It's
We
been such a pleasure.
really appreciate it. Thank you.
So good. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate
Yeah.
like taking the show into another realm. I really appreciate you doing it.
And I also want to thank my colleague Audrey for coordinating all of this and for all your hard work on this event. We really appreciate it. Thank you for figuring out all of this stuff with Zoom and social media and the website, everything. So thank you. So we are going to have another artist talk next Thursday at the same time at 6 p.m. with Summer McCorkle, who's in the gallery. Her show is in the next room next to Jude's. And so we're going to be speaking to Summer McCorkle about her film, which is called Des Abends. So we hope to see you all then. And please tell your friends, and thank you again, and everybody have a good night and stay safe and healthy and well. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Love everybody.
Yoo-hoo.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, everybody. Everybody's going?
I'll end the meeting now. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hope to see you next
Bye.
week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for
Bye, Jude.
Bye.
Thank you, Jude.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gabriel and Becky and Audrey.
Hi, Larry.
Thanks, Jude. It was so awesome. Thanks, Audrey, for making it all happen.
Yes. Okay. Ending it. Bye, guys.
Bye.